So welcome everyone. Find yourself a really comfortable position. You can close your eyes if you want. You can keep your eyes open if you want. We'll start with just a little bit of gentle movement to see how does the body feel today. And we'll start with our hands, moving the fingers, seeing how the wrists feel. Maybe do some gentle wrist rolls. Open and close the fingers. Maybe you interlock them and make some figure eights if that feels good. And if there's ever any pops and clicks, that's fine as long as there's no pain. We never want to experience any pain. And if you do have a sharp feeling, lay off, come back, go in gently. And we'll move up the arms into the elbows and the shoulders. So can do some shoulder circles, or if you want to do a little bit of strength work, you can put your arms straight out. You can do one at a time if that feels better. And then don't forget to go the opposite direction as well. Sometimes that's a little more difficult to bring the shoulder blades together and up and forward for whatever reason, but just getting out any niggles, seeing if there's any places of tension, and then we'll roll the neck. So again, go slow. There's no race. You don't have to look like me. You don't have to go at the pace that I'm going. You can do whatever feels good in your body. And again, remembering to go in both directions, see if there's any difference. And if you find a spot and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good spot. That's a spot that I can really feel it. You can linger. You can use your hand, you can apply a little pressure, you can do a little massage, you can make this your own practice. Sometimes we default to letting the external world dictate what we do and how we do it. And I'm going to make the suggestion that you use your own proprioception, your own understanding of your body and how it feels to make decisions based on what would feel better, what would feel good. And maybe we rock side to side a little bit, going from one hip to the other hip. And this might already be enough. This might feel like, yeah, this is the edge of my balance. If you want to give yourself a little challenge, you can use the arm and kind of lean over to one side. You could also grab the opposite wrist, or you could grab for opposite elbows. You can also put one hand on the chair or the ground if that gives you a bigger, deeper stretch down the side of the body. And as always, what we do on one side, we want to do on the opposite side. So again, reaching over, feeling that side bend. Maybe you grab for opposite wrists. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows, or press into the ground next to you to give yourself a little bit of stability. And don't forget to breathe. And then we can come back up to seated. Maybe we do a little hip circling if that feels good. Or if you might do a little one by one. You can kind of rotate the hips by adjusting. I'm holding on to my knee and my shin. Or maybe you're really strong and you can simply move the leg itself. My legs don't always want to do that. Just putting in some motion can help lubricate the joints and can help make us feel a little more at ease in our own body. And then we can do the same thing with the ankles. So I'm just crossing my leg and using my opposite hand to rotate the ankle. If your ankle wants to rotate on its own, then that's also great. But I find I get a bigger range of motion when I help it out a little bit. And what we do on the left, we want to do on the right. So if you haven't switched, think about maybe coming to the other side, maybe stretching the toes a little bit, maybe pointing and flexing the foot a little bit, whatever would make your body feel good. And if that's not going to be an option for you, you can always just think about these parts of the body and feel what you feel into how does the foot feel? How does the knee feel? How does the hip feel? And then if there's any other movement that would feel good in your body, maybe it's a twist, maybe it's kind of a, shake it out and wiggle around, or maybe there's another stretch that your body is really asking for. You could do some flexion and extension exercises if you want to do some seated cat-cows. Or you could stretch the arms. I don't know. Ask yourself, what do I need? What would be good today? And maybe the answer is, no, I'm ready. I'm good. I want to be still and quiet now. Wonderful. And maybe the answer is, oh, actually, I do really need to move and wiggle and stretch. Because the worst thing is if we ask our body to be really still and quiet, but it's not ready for that. And then you're constantly in this little battle in your mind between wanting to move but wanting to be still. And well, we want to find this equilibrium where we feel really comfortable, or as comfortable as possible at least, in our stillness. So then we'll come to whatever feels the best. Again, you can tuck something behind your back, or you can put on another layer. You can close your eyes. And I know that's not great for everyone, but if it works for you, wonderful. It's a great way to go deeper inside without the distractions of the very busy world. But you can also find a drishti, a single point of focus. You could lower your gaze down to the floor. You could squint your eyes a little bit so things go a bit fuzzy. Just trying to bring the attention to what's going on internally. And it may be very noisy in your brain today, and that's fine. The brain has lots of things that it wants to tell you. It wants to protect you. It wants to alert you to every possible contingency, many of which will never come to pass. And if your brain is feeling very, very busy today, I would encourage you to try to make peace with it and to say, oh, thank you for your suggestions. Thank you, brain, for your worry and your consideration. Thank you for reminding me of all the things I need to do or all the things I said yesterday. And then invite your brain to take a chill pill, to relax a little bit and say, you know what? I'm going to think about all of these things later. I'm going to think about all these things a little bit. Right now, I'm going to stay with the present moment. I'm going to stay right here, right now. And that doesn't mean your brain is going to listen to you, and it doesn't mean that the thoughts won't continue to come. And that's okay. What we're looking for is making peace with the fact that we are fallible humans and we can't always turn off the chatter. That's normal. That's totally fine. The goal is the mindfulness, and so it's coming back every time. So every time the brain wants to take us down this path, we say, I'm coming back to the present moment, and I'm coming back to my body, and I'm coming back to my breath. So if you have an intention you would like to set, it can be as simple as I'm in the present moment, or I follow my breath, or if there's something else that you're working on, I am self-compassionate. I take my time. I ask for help. Send it out to the universe. Let the universe help conspire to make it so. And then I'll invite you into a breathing countdown from 10 to 1. You don't have to change the breath in any way. You don't have to make it the super big breath or a super deep breath, but simply watch the exhales. So inhaling and exhaling 10, and inhaling and exhaling 9, and so on and so forth. And if you get to 1 quickly, no worries, just start back at 10. And if you never make it to 1 because you get distracted or your breathing is slow, that's fine too. It's not really about the destination. It's about staying with the breath. And take your time. There's truly no rush in any of this. But you can drop the counting wherever you got to or didn't get to. And just take stock. How do you feel now in your body? And then if there's a place that feels tight or feels tense or feels less great, put your breath into that spot and see if you can soften. See if you can release. Even if it's just 1%, even if it's just a tiny little release. When we search for relaxation, when we search for mindfulness, when we sit down, there can be a desire to move quickly and to do it right and to have things fall into place immediately. But we're not in charge of the timeline. We can only show up to the process. We're going to go through a body scan. And for some people, this comes naturally. You can feel into different parts of the body. And for other people, you might have altered sensation, or it might be difficult to feel into the specific parts of the body. That's fine. You can just visualize what that part looks like, where that part is in space. And we'll just lightly rest the attention and then move the attention on. And so I will invite you to think of some type of little creature or little animal or a pretend creature, a unicorn or a fairy, and we'll move this little creature throughout the body. So something that sings to your heart. So we'll start with the crown of the head. And maybe your little creature is sprinkling some relaxation or some calm vibes, some sweetness, some ease. And then move it to that third eye, that space between the eyebrows. And over the right eye and the left eye. And down the bridge of the nose to the nostrils. And take a moment to feel the breath here coming in and out. And just notice what you notice. Maybe temperature, maybe speed. And down to the lips. And the chin. And over to the right ear, the outside of the ear, and then the inner ear. And the same on the left side. The left outer ear and the inner ear. And then maybe you swallow and feel that sensation from the ears into the jaw and down the throat. And then let your creature linger over your throat chakra and then down into the heart. And we'll linger here for a moment, breathing into the heart space, letting any sort of positive emotion wash over you. Maybe it's a lovely memory, or you visualize something that makes you happy, or feeling joyful, feeling calm, or content. And then bringing the attention over to the left shoulder, letting your creature wander down your arm to the elbow. And then down the lower arm to the wrist, and then to the palm, and into the thumb, the index finger, the ring finger, the middle finger, the pinky finger. And then let it dance over to the right shoulder and wander down to the right elbow. And then down the lower arm to the right wrist and into the palm of the hand. And then dancing on each of the fingertips, the thumb and the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger. And then back to the heart center. Coming down the sternum to the belly. And we'll use the diaphragm here, letting the belly rise on the inhale, and then letting the belly sink on the exhale. And often just by noticing the belly, the breath expands, the breath lengthens. But if that's not naturally happening, think about elongating the exhale. So these nice, slow, calm, deliberate exhales can help tell our body that we're safe, can help transmit the signals from the brain down the vagus nerve to the gut, saying we can relax here. We don't need to be on high alert. We don't need to be hypervigilant. All of our needs are taken care of. There is no threat. So inhale, let the belly rise. And exhale, let the belly sink nice and slow. And then let your creature dance on your right hip and on the left hip. And down the left thigh to the left knee. And then wandering down the shin to the ankle, to the heel, to the top of the foot. And then lingering over each of the toes, the big toe, the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the little toe. Coming up the back of the leg, the calf to the back of the knee. And then the back of the knee up back to the hip. And then across to the right side, and we'll do the same over here. Wandering your creature down to the knee, and then down the shin to the ankle, to the heel, the top of the foot. And all 5 toes, the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the little toe. And then wandering back up the calf to the back of the knee and up the hamstrings back to the hip. And then we'll sit for a minute just feeling the whole body. And sometimes that's a lot. And that's okay. Can you feel the whole body at once? Can you sit with awareness of what's going on in your body? And can you do that with equanimity, with understanding, with self-compassion, saying, this is how it is right now. And it always changes. And that's what it means to be alive. I'll invite you to join me in some even breathing, inhaling for about 5 seconds and exhaling for about 5 seconds. We can visualize breathing in from the toes up to the crown of the head and exhaling from the crown of the head down to the tips of the toes. Again, passing all of our major joints, visualizing this peaceful feeling, relaxing into what's beneath us. We don't have to do any of the work. All we have to do is breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. Keeping it gentle. Keeping the breath light. Make it easy. As easy as possible. And then once again, sometimes we find ourselves, our muscles want to be tense. We want to invite them to soften. So if you found an area that has become stressed or that is holding some tension, invite it to relax. Breathe into that space. This is how it is right now. And then we aspire to be just a tiny bit more present. We aspire to be a tiny bit more relaxed. We aspire to be a tiny bit more calm. Come back to that intention if you set one at the beginning of our time together. And recite it to yourself 3 times in present tense, as if it has already happened. I am calm. Or I follow my breath. I have self-compassion, or whatever it is. And then we'll gently start bringing a little bit of movement into the body. Maybe stretching the legs very gently, stretching the arms very gently. Maybe you roll the neck a little bit. Or roll the shoulders. And then if your eyes are closed, you can slowly, gently, in your own time, open your eyes. Thanks for practicing with me today.